Well, that's an interesting wrinkle. I did not hear them say what Charles said or what Dr. Lester said, although I think you're trying to wrap it around a jurisdictional issue, which sounds like to me saying something about the filtration system was in our purview where you think the whales are not. And I just want to have a brief discussion with our attorney, Mr. Peterson, about this. I spent most of my time, which was quite a bit of time on this project, looking at these jurisdictional issues. And I came down on a different side of it than you did. Not in your initial hierarchy of the law. I think it is absolutely plain that the Marine Mammal Protection Act is not in effect here. It has been accepted in the case of captivity. They have stated it themselves. They have delegated it to first NIMS, and then NIMS delegated it to APHIS, and that's the Animal Welfare Act, which has specifically granted to the states the ability to regulate animals in captivity. I mean, it's just that simple. There is laws in other states, South Carolina being one, where the federal government said you can have a state law that does not allow for animals in captivity, marine mammals in captivity. It is not governed by the MMPA. It is the law. So I don't understand why SeaWorld, the applicant, is clinging so tightly to this misinterpretation of the law, and I'm just not going to buy it. That said,
No.
stop, please.
Please.
That said, Mr. Peterson and I also disagree when we get down to the further analysis of state law. The state law, which is granted to us if we choose to take it from the AWA or APHIS, whatever one you want to say, allows for regulations of mammals in captivity, marine mammals in captivity. We, as an agency, must look to see if any other agency has preempted that from us. No one has. The California Fish and Wildlife have not taken jurisdiction here. They have told us that they don't feel that that is their role. So if I was to believe what the applicant is saying, there is no agency out there governing or regulating the applicant. And that doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, that is an area of such great importance, marine mammals in captivity. It's of interest as a public resource as well as a marine resource. So I believe that the 30230, right, 30230, allows us to take jurisdiction in this case over these marine mammals. And so that being said, I feel that we do have jurisdiction to both cap the animals or, in some cases, or in this case, talk about the breeding of the animals, which leads me to the scientific evidence. I mean, we've spent hours here today, all of us, and all in good faith. I don't think anybody here really wants to malign SeaWorld. I think SeaWorld has a lot of wonderful people. I think they have a lot of wonderful goals. And I do believe that the interest of the marine mammals is of utmost importance to you. But I also have to agree with the scientists, which does include Jane Goodall and Naomi Rose and some people of incredible credentials and decades of experience, that these mammals are suffering in captivity. Not suffering because you want them to or because you're really treating them badly. They're suffering because they don't belong in captivity. So I personally can go along with this project. I can approve this project. I can vote for this project, but only if we condition it further, and that condition would be an expansion of condition 1. And for me, and I can't speak for any other commissioner but myself, I would like to see that condition amended. And in that way, do I need to make an amending motion?
Yes, you do.
So I would like to make an amending motion if it's the proper time to do so. So that condition 1 would go further and would say, I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess it up, and now of course can't find it. Where did I put it? I have so many papers. Oh, here we go. So I would like to expand condition 1 to say that it would further prohibit captive breeding, artificial insemination, the sale, please, the sale, trade, or transfer of any orca in captivity. And I think we could agree to some exceptions for maybe the health of the animal or certainly the rescue animals. I would like to see something in the condition about the rescue animals so that they're only held as long as necessary for their health. I don't understand why they would have to stay just because at one time they were ill. And under those circumstances, I could happily approve this project because I do believe that the whales that you have in captivity right now will benefit from this, and that's a terrific thing to do. And I also think that the public would enjoy it more to see them in this environment. So,
Thank you.
do I need a second?
Yeah, would you like to speak to your second?
I would, thank you. I actually think that Commissioner Cox's amendment, the maximum of 15 in combination with the amendment that Commissioner Bochco has just made is completely consistent, given that I would like, SeaWorld has done a fabulous job on rescues, and I certainly wouldn't want to do anything which would limit their ability to help and heal and house, as long as they needed housing, a whale that needed rescuing. On the other hand, I completely concur with Commissioner Bochco's analysis of the importance of no more breeding in captivity. These are marine mammals. They're a marine mammal no matter where they live. Desert animals are desert animals, whether they're taken out of the desert or not. So I think that I prefer this. I'd like us to go this route, and the reason is the option for me would be denial. And the problem with denial is that it leaves, there's, even though these new tanks are not much improvement for the 11 mammals that are there, it's got to be better than where they are now. So with that, I think it's not what a lot of people have asked for a straight denial, but a straight denial does leave the 11 animals still in the conditions they're in without the benefits of the much bigger tank. But under this amendment, as Commissioner Bochco has outlined it, there would be a limitation of the number of animals, and the increased size would actually be for the benefit of these animals. So I would urge my fellow commissioners to vote yes on the amending motion.
Any commissioners wishing to speak at this time? If not, we would take up the amending motion as the first item. And I will be asking for a roll call vote, please.
Before we,
Commissioner Cox?
yeah, before we get to the roll call vote, I would be interested to afford the opportunity to Mr. Riley or representatives from SeaWorld if they wanted to address that condition.
Commissioner Cox, as we stated before, we would support the condition that you suggested about the cap to 15 animals in the facility. As to a ban or limitation on breeding, we would not. The population in this facility, we have affirmed our approach to collection, in that we wouldn't accept any animal collected after January 1st, 2012, to exclude the Russian whales and any whales collected after that. We've included the genetic material of those animals in that as well. But a ban on breeding would sentence these animals to a slow extinction in our care, and a slow death and we would not support that condition.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, well, we'll take the roll call. I'm going to oppose this amendment. Obviously, I'll support the main motion when it comes up.
Thank you. Vanessa, you want to?
Martha.
Excuse me, Commissioner McClure.
Yeah, I had a question in relationship to the amendment in relationship to the no breeding clause. Is that the 11 that are at SeaWorld, or is that the 24 that are under the care of SeaWorld?
Well, let's get clarification from the maker of the motion.
Where are these 20? I know they have 11 here.
Well, it's my understanding, and I could ask SeaWorld to clarify that, but it's my understanding that they have 24
Oh, in separate parks.
in separate parks.
Well, my intention was the 11 that they have now. Yeah, in San Diego, because we're giving a permit to San Diego, so that was what I was including.
Okay, and so my question is, if a whale passed, could they bring a whale in from one of their other parks, a replacement whale? So I'm just
No.
kind of curious. Okay.
No, because the transportation would also be prohibited.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Vanessa?
Excuse me?
Commissioner Bochco.
Excuse me, just,
We are voting on the amending motion at this point.
Chair Kinsey, could I request one clarification regarding the motion? So is the intent to also limit the transfer of orcas away from the facility? Okay, so I do have one informational question about whether any orcas that are currently at the facility are this. I have an informational question about whether any orcas that are currently at the facility are governed by a take permit. And the reason for that question is there is a provision in the MMPA that provides that an animal that is subject to a take permit, that take permit includes the right to transfer the animal. So that is one specific limitation that I just want to be sure isn't an issue.
So you're saying that, is this the permit that NIMS gives for the take?
Yes, so, and this would be an animal-specific permit. So I'm just
So if they
asking
have
if
that
there are
permit,
any,
it still can be transported even after captivity?
with respect to that specific animal,
Got ya.
yes.
So
Does somebody know?
I think the question would either be Chris is wanting to know from SeaWorld whether any of the animals have a specific take permit or whether the maker of the motion would exclude any such animal from the transfer prohibition.
My suggestion would be, rather than to involve the applicant, would be to get a clarification from the maker of the motion that it would be consistent with federal law regarding take.
Yes, of course.
And the
Right.
seconder, is that fine?
Then we don't need an answer.
Thank
Just-
you.
It's consistent with federal law regarding take.
Vanessa? Commissioner Vargas?
I'm just asking for a little clarity in terms of what we're voting on, if somebody would.
Okay, so what we're voting on right now is an amendment to the main motion that would prohibit the transfer or the breeding of the orcas that are in the California facility, excepting those that are here under federal take provisions. Is that satisfactory, Commissioner? Okay. Once again, Vanessa, let's start at the top.
Commissioner Bochco.
Yes.
Bochco, yes. Commissioner Cox.
No.
Cox, no. Commissioner Groom.
Yes.
Groom, yes. Commissioner Howell.
Aye.
Howell, yes. Commissioner Luevano. Luevano, yes. Commissioner McClure. McClure, yes. Commissioner Mitchell.
Yes.
Mitchell, yes. Commissioner Schellenberger? Schellenberger, yes. Commissioner Turnbull Sanders?
Yes.
Turnbull Sanders?
Yes.
Commissioner Uranga?
Aye.
Uranga, yes. Commissioner Vargas?
Yes.
Vargas, yes. Chair Kinsey?
Yes.
Chair Kinsey, yes. The vote is 11-1.
Thank you. And so now we take up the main motion, which would approve the expansion of the facility. Vanessa, would you do a roll call vote on this as well?
Commissioner Cox?
Yes. Yes. As amended, yes.
Aye.
Cox, yes. Commissioner Groom?
Yes.
Groom, yes. Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Howell, yes. Commissioner Luevano? Luevano, yes. Commissioner McClure? McClure, yes. Commissioner Mitchell?
Yes.
Mitchell, yes. Commissioner Schellenberger? Schellenberger, yes. Commissioner Turnbull Sanders?
Yes.
Turnbull Sanders, yes. Commissioner Uranka?
Aye.
Uranka, yes. Commissioner Farkas?
Yes.
Farkas, yes. Commissioner Bochco? Bochco, yes. Chair Kinsey?
Yes.
Kinsey, yes. The vote is unanimous.
Thank you. So that we do approve the project consistent with the amendments as noted, and that completes this item. I want to thank the public for your participation, the applicant, and this also. This also completes the California Coastal Commission meeting for today. Thank you. We are adjourned.